You know, there's nothing quite as painful as feeling like your own children don't respect you. After all those years of love, sacrifice, and guidance, only to be met with indifference, dismissiveness, or even outright rudeness. It stings, doesn't it? Maybe you've even asked yourself, where did I go wrong? Or why don't they value me anymore? If that's how you've been feeling, I want you to know something right away. This isn't your fault. Respect isn't something you should have to beg for, especially from the people you've given so much to. But here's the good news. You do have power in this situation. Instead of waiting for them to change, there are things you can do to shift the dynamic, protect your peace, and even rebuild the relationship, if that's what you want. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly what to do when your children don't respect you. Not by demanding it, not by guilt-tripping them, but by taking control of your own actions and reactions in a way that changes the whole conversation. Let's start with the first and most important step. Stop chasing their approval. I know, that's easier said than done. As parents, we're wired to want our children's love and respect. But when you constantly seek their validation, whether by overgiving, people-pleasing, or biting your tongue when they're unkind, you actually teach them that your self-worth depends on their behavior. And that's not true. Think about it. If your child speaks to you disrespectfully, and your response is to just swallow it or try harder to earn their kindness, what does that teach them? It tells them they can treat you this way without consequences. So instead, practice stepping back. That doesn't mean cutting them off or being cold. It just means refusing to beg for basic decency. If they're rude, calmly say, "I don't deserve to be spoken to that way," and disengage. No arguments, no lectures, just quiet dignity. You'll be amazed at how much this simple shift can change things. Now, the second step, reclaim your own life. One of the hardest truths to face is that sometimes adult children pull away or act disrespectfully because they sense that you are overly dependent on them, emotionally, socially, or even financially. Maybe you've put their needs ahead of yours for so long that they no longer see you as a full, independent person with your own dreams and interests. So here's what I want you to do. Start filling your life with things that bring you joy, not just things that revolve around your kids. Reconnect with old friends, pick up a hobby you've neglected, volunteer, or even travel. When your children see that you have a vibrant life outside of them, it shifts their perspective. Suddenly, they're not the center of your world anymore, and that often makes them realize how much they want to be part of it. And finally, for this first part, let's talk about setting boundaries with love. Boundaries aren't about punishment or anger, they're about self-respect. For example, if your child frequently cancels plans last minute or only calls when they need something, it's okay to say, "I love you, but I need our relationship to be more than just when it's convenient for you." Then, follow through. If they only reach out for favors, don't jump to fix everything. Let them feel your absence a little. This isn't about playing games, it's about teaching them how to treat you. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for them is to show that your love is unconditional, but your tolerance for disrespect is not. Now, these first steps are just the beginning. In the next part, we'll talk about how to handle specific situations, like when your child criticizes you unfairly, or when family conflicts seem impossible to resolve. But for now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried stepping back or setting boundaries with your children? How did it go? Share your thoughts in the comments, because you're not alone in this, and your experiences might help someone else. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more advice on navigating family relationships with wisdom and grace. Remember, you deserve respect, not because you demand it, but because you choose to live in a way that honors yourself. You know, one of the most common things I hear from people in your situation is this: "I've tried setting boundaries, but my child just gets angry or ignores me completely." And I get it. It's frustrating when you muster up the courage to stand up for yourself, only to be met with resistance or even more disrespect. But here's what you need to remember. Their reaction isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're doing something right. Change is uncomfortable for them and for you. If your child has gotten used to treating you a certain way, they're not going to just roll out the red carpet when you start asserting yourself. They might push back, test your limits or even try to make you feel guilty. But this is where so many parents give up too soon. They mistake their child's resistance for failure, when in reality, it's just the first step toward a healthier relationship. So let's talk about how to stay strong when they react badly. The key is to stay calm, consistent, and unshaken. If your child raises their voice or tries to argue, don't engage in the heat of the moment. Instead, say something like, "I can see you're upset, and I'm happy to talk about this when we're both calm." Then walk away if you have to. You're not running from the conflict. You're refusing to let it control you. And here's something else to keep in mind. You don't have to justify your boundaries. Too often, we fall into the trap of over-explaining ourselves, as if we need permission to ask for basic respect. But think about it. Do you demand a detailed report from your bank when they set rules to protect your money? Of course not. In the same way, your boundaries aren't up for debate. You can say, "This is what I need to feel valued in our relationship," without getting dragged into a long negotiation. Now, let's move on to another crucial step. Stop taking their behavior personally. I know that sounds impossible. When your child is dismissive or hurtful, it feels personal. But here's the truth. Their actions say far more about them than they do about you. Maybe they're stressed, maybe they're repeating patterns they learned elsewhere, or maybe they're just so used to you always being there that they've forgotten how to show appreciation. That doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does mean you don't have to carry it as a reflection of your worth. Try this. The next time they say or do something hurtful, pause and ask yourself, is this really about me? Or is it about something they're dealing with? You might find it easier to respond with patience instead of pain. And finally, let's talk about leading by example. Respect isn't just something we ask for, it's something we model. If you want your children to treat you with kindness and consideration, show them what that looks like in the way you treat them and yourself. Speak to them the way you'd like to be spoken to. Handle disagreements with grace. And most importantly, treat yourself with the same love you've always given them. Because here's the beautiful thing. When you stop begging for scraps of respect and start embodying self-respect instead, something shifts. They may not change overnight, but they will notice. And whether they choose to meet you at that higher standard or not, you'll be living with more peace, confidence, and dignity than ever before. In the next part, we'll dive into the final steps, including how to handle deep-seated family conflicts and what to do if your child still refuses to change. But for now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with guilt when setting boundaries? Or have you seen a shift in your relationship after changing your own behavior? Share your story in the comments because your journey could be the encouragement someone else needs today. And if this is helping you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest conversations about family, respect, and living well at every age. Remember, you're not just teaching your children how to treat you, you're teaching yourself how much you're worth. There comes a point in every parent's life when you have to ask yourself a tough but freeing question. What if my child never changes? I know that thought might ache a little. After all, no one wants to give up hope. But here's the twist. Accepting that possibility doesn't mean you're giving up on them. It means you're choosing to reclaim your peace, no matter what they do. Let's talk about detaching with love. This isn't about cutting ties or shutting your child out of your heart. It's about releasing the exhausting cycle of trying to control their actions while neglecting your own well-being. Picture this. You're holding a rope in a tug of war, pulling with all your might, frustrated that they won't pull their weight. But what happens if you simply drop the rope? The struggle ends. That's detachment. You stop straining to make them respect you and start focusing on what you can control, your boundaries, your mindset, and how you show up in the relationship. Now, this doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care differently. You might say, "I'll always love you, but I won't stay in conversations where I'm belittled." Or, "I'm here when you're ready to treat me with kindness." Then, you live your life fully, whether they join you or not. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, that space you create becomes the very thing that helps them reflect. Next, let's address forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to get sick. You deserve better. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing their behavior or pretending it didn't hurt. It means freeing yourself from the weight of anger so you can move forward. Try this. Write a letter to your child. You don't have to send it, pouring out every hurt, then burn it or tear it up. Or, if faith is part of your life, pray for the strength to release the bitterness. You'll notice something beautiful. The less space their disrespect takes up in your heart, the more room there is for joy, for new connections, and for the people do cherish you. And finally, build your circle of respect. If your child isn't honoring you right now, pour your energy into relationships that do feed your soul. Friends who laugh with you, grandchildren who adore you, community groups that value your wisdom. Volunteer, join a club, or reconnect with siblings or old pals. When you surround yourself with people who see your worth, two things happen. First, you're reminded that you are worthy of respect, regardless of one person's actions. Second, your child may start to see you through others' eyes, and that can be a powerful mirror. So here's the truth, my friend. You've spent decades loving your children. It's okay to love yourself just as fiercely now. You don't have to settle for crumbs of respect when you've given a lifetime of feasts. Whether your child comes around or not, you can choose peace, you can choose joy, and you can decide that the rest of your years will be defined not by their actions, but by your own resilience, wisdom, and unshakable worth. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small way you'll practice self-respect this week? Will you say no to a demand that drains you? Will you call a friend who always lifts you up? Share your plan in the comments, because your courage inspires others. If this series spoke to your heart, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our honest conversations about thriving in every season of life. And remember, no matter how your children act, your value was never, ever in their hands. It's always been in yours. Here's to the next chapter. May it be your brightest yet. Do subscribe to keep the circle growing.